Cold calling is easy now. Can't believe I'm saying that, okay? Look, I'm usually very direct when it comes to these videos. This is not going to be an exception. On day 16, I made my first ever cold call. It was a $1.7 million for sale by owner listing in Carmel, and it ended up horribly. So a big part of real estate is lead generation. We know this already. And for the last 6 months, I've been on and off when it comes to for sale by owners. I called briefly in the beginning, but the calls were so painful, awkward, forced, and I got a lot of terrible reactions from people making those calls. Somehow, I've developed a strategy with the help of my team and with the help of, mentors and stuff that guide me here. I have the perfect strategy to contact for sale by owners via cold call, and I have set out of 5 calling sessions I've done, each one was 10 calls. So I make sure I call 10 FSBOs every day. If not, then at least several, or until I get an appointment set. I have set an appointment for almost every call session I've had. Did some calls end up poorly? Yes, of course they do, because it's not always going to be a good fit. And for sale by owners are going to be stingy motherfuckers, and they're going to say it doesn't matter what you say, they're not going to work with you. However, with the right strategy and plan, the conversion rate from contact to appointment set is going to be much higher if you use a certain script. So, I have set 4 appointments, and honestly, 2 of them are looking optimistic. I've already met with the one that was a duplex investment property in Franklin. It went well. I have to follow up with her. This one that I just did today was a Martinsville listing, and it was a little bit of a unique situation. But my skills on calling the phone have gotten so much better just in the last couple weeks. It's insane how much progress I've made. Now you can see I got my old letter jacket on from high school. It's really cool, but I'm gonna take it off here because I need to get a little bit more mobility, and I feel kind of stiff wearing this, so hopefully you guys don't mind me at all. When it comes to talking to for sale by owners, I've really mixed it between calling and then texting. I typically texted, and I would text them and ask them simple questions. Texting is so much easier than it is to call them, but if you can get good calling the phone, call them. Because you're building a relationship with them, voice to voice, and now you're not just a plain text. So it was tough in the beginning, mastering my scripts and cold calling, but the conversion rate is so much higher now because I've actually been able to provide structure. So I want to get on to the scripts that I've been using, that have been handed to me by my team leader, Kevin, and this is going to be how I make my cold calling work, okay? Because believe it or not, cold calling works. For sale by owners, work. I have a listing in Fortville, which I don't know if I'll get into that today in this video, but let's go over the script that I use. What's the magic script that I use to get appointments with for sale by owners? And it goes something like this. Ring, 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 ring. Hi, this is Nick Ponza with Keller Williams. I was wanting to call about the home on 123 Main Street. Is that home still for sale by chance? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I work with several buyers that are potentially interested in the area. That is an important phrase. I work with several buyers that are potentially interested in the area. So all I'm saying is I work with buyers, maybe not, they might look in your city. I'm not saying I have a buyer for their property. I'm not saying that. So I'm not lying. The reason why I say this as one of the first things is because for sale by owners need to have their defense down. Okay? Because when they have a realtor call them about a property, it's like this. Get away from me. I don't want to work with you. So the way I kind of probe it is I'm sort of trying to let that guard down and tell them, hey, I work with several buyers that are potentially interested in the area. Okay, and then I ask a question about the property. So I'll be like, Okay, well, I work with several buyers who are potentially interested in the area. I was looking through the listing and I didn't notice, is there a fenced backyard? No. Okay. And then, no worries at all. And then I also wanted to ask if the basement was unfinished. I see some of the photos and it looks like there's some unfinished spots, but no, it's not finished, but we were thinking about getting it finished like a few years ago. Oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have either or. Well, one other thing I wanted to ask too is if you've had any recent upgrades to the home, maybe like the roof, the furnace, the water heater, and then you get them to talk, okay? So leave it be, ask the questions, and they're going to answer. Okay, so they're being like, and then this is when I say, okay. And then one last thing I wanted to ask is, I was looking on the listing and I saw that it was for sale by owner. Does this mean you hate working with realtors? People like to say no when they're getting in a cold call with somebody. No. So what am I doing here? When I'm saying, do you hate working with realtors? I'm saying, like, they have to say no, because not only is it their initial instinct to say no, but hate's a strong word. And it's like, well, if I hate working with realtors, then, it's going to be harder for my house to sell because an agent needs to use, they have a client, and typically buyers work with real estate agents. So if they hate realtors, how are they going to get their home sold? That's what's going on in their head. So when I ask them, I noticed that it's listed for sale by owner. Does this mean you hate realtors? They usually say no. Then I'll ask them, oh, okay, is it because you want to save money? 90% of for sale by owners are listing it on their own because they want to save money. Okay? Just putting that out there. So usually they'll be like, yeah, I just don't want to pay a 3% commission, I just want to not do that and I can just sell it myself. So here's what I'll tell them. Okay, well, let me ask you this. If you knew absolutely for certain that by working with me, two things would happen. One is that the home would actually sell at a great time. Second is that you would actually end up saving money despite working with a trusted real estate professional. If those two things were the case, would you maybe at least be willing to have that conversation? Most of the time they say yes. They'll be like, sure. That's when I set the appointment. I say, okay, I'm usually free on X, Y, and Z. Do we want to try to meet together and maybe I can take a look at the property? Sure. Okay, sounds good. Are you free tomorrow at noon? No, I got blah, 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 blah. No worries. So what's the psychology behind this? This is a reference from a script called Fearless Agent. Fearless Agent scripts, they do expires, they do circle prospecting, and they do sphere of influence calls, lead referral generation, or referral lead generation. So the whole purpose of these calls is to build rapport with this person and get the appointment set. So that's structure. Scripts are not ever designed for you to read it word for word. Scripts are designed for you to provide meaning, purpose, and structure to your conversation. So then I can focus on listening to the for sale by owner instead of thinking about what I need to say, right? So that's the big aspect of it. And I was able to get a lot of appointments set, okay? Literally just in February, I've already gotten near 3 appointments set. Now, one of them flaked on me, which is fine, but 2 of them, I'm getting a time to meet with one. I already met with the investment person, the realtor or real estate investor. This stuff works, and if you can pound the phone and make calls, you will never go hungry in business because this is going from nothing. Okay, you're not paying anything. You're not paying for leads. You're not asking for referrals. You're not posting it on social media. This is all creating your own business. And it's easy because it's low-hanging fruit, and for sale by owners are always going to call you. So I haven't mastered anything. I haven't mastered these scripts. I haven't mastered for sale by owner calls, but I'll tell you what right now. I am getting much better at these calls, and it's actually insane because I never thought I'd be a great cold caller. I think I'm doing a pretty good job considering, I've been really consistently cold calling for a few weeks now. And I'm only going to get better. And guess what? Because I know the structure of my conversation, it's easier for me to make the conversation come off authentic, casual, like a real person talking to a for sale by owner instead of me asking questions about the house or saying, I want to be a resource for you and blah, 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 blah. So with all that being said, what does this mean? What does this mean for my business? What this means is that I am building something sustainable. I am pounding the phone and I am making calls. I am one of the only people in this office that consistently cold call. I don't know a single person in this office that cold calls. Everybody that I know that teaches lead gen, people that do lead gen, do two things. One is referrals, the other is social media. Which referrals, if you're a seasoned agent, referrals is your primary base of business. Past clients, referrals, that's your thing. Nobody likes cold calling because it fucking sucks. It's painful. You're trying to work with someone that thinks that they can sell it on their own. It's like saying like you're going to court without a lawyer. And you have to tell them, like, if I told you that you can actually save money by working with a trusted real estate professional, do you want to see how that works? So, I know I'm getting too deep into the logistics, but what I'm trying to say is this provides optimism for my business. I haven't gotten any signings this month, but you know what? That doesn't fucking matter, because the truth is that signings are a lagging effect, and it really doesn't have an indication of your success. The indication of your success is the numbers that you're making, calling, contacts made, appointments set. If you can reach your goal in those three things, the signings will come, even if they're not right now. It's a lagging effect. And I think, and this is going on to my next point, I think I am, again, about to be on the verge of something big. Genuinely speaking, especially the last few weeks, but even this last month, the sheer amount of progress that I've made is insane. And I have to give credit to working on a real estate team, which I wish I would have done when I was new, but I was glad I was able to get a little bit of skin in the game and then work with a real estate team. And it's really just Kevin and I. Like, it's literally just him and I that work together. And I've done the most work in real estate that I've ever done in my career, and I've built the best skill set I ever have before. I have built more experience in this month than I've had the last 5 months in the business, even though I don't have any signings right now. And what this means is that it's going to compound. The compound effect by Darren Hardy. The more I do this task of cold calling, posting on social media consistently, learning about the market, explaining to people the value of working with a trusted real estate professional, I am going to absolutely kill it. And look, don't even get me started with the listing appointment. I have a plan. I have an agenda set when I have a listing appointment because I bring several things. When I used to meet with for sale by owners, I never brought any papers with me unless it was a listing contract and a seller's handbook. Now I bring a comprehensive comparative market analysis showing them competition within their market. And then I show them the price and the stats, the days on market and everything like that. Second, I show them a seller net proceeds sheet, which just basically shows them, hey, if you work with me, here's what you have to pay and here's how much you're getting out of this sale, which is great for clarity. Third is I'm bringing a pre-listing packet, which the pre-listing packet shows my value as a real estate agent. So I'll show them, Huda Real Estate has closed over $19 million in sales volume in 2025. We have sold over 750 homes in Indiana. We're a top 5% real estate team within Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. And I work with one of the best lenders in Indiana. Usually I'll tell that to buyers because it doesn't really matter with sellers. But then I'll show with them, I say, if we find a buyer, that's a 1% discount off of the commission. So my value proposition is strong. And really, if I'm being honest, in the summertime, there's going to be more listings. Like, this is February and I'm doing this. Can you imagine within a few months from now where I'm going to be at and how many more opportunities of business I'm going to have? Not just with referrals, people looking to move in my life, Zillow leads. It's going to be like, for sale by owners are going to start popping up everywhere. And I cannot wait for it. Cannot wait. I am genuinely excited. This is the best progress I've made in an entire month. And now, cold calling it's easier now. I can't believe I'm saying that. I never thought I would ever say cold calling is simple. But genuinely, my blueprint is, don't read this word for word. Here, I can show you the actual for sale by owner script. Don't you dare read this word for word. Okay? What you need to do is say, hey, this is Nick Ponzo with Keller Williams. I was wanting to call about the home on 123 Main Street. Is that home still for sale by chance? Oh, yeah. Okay. I work with several buyers that are potentially interested in the area. I was wanting to know, does the yard have a fence? Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, no problem at all. I know, like, I have dogs too that, would like to jump around and stuff like that. So, one other thing I wanted to ask too is, how old is the water heater and furnace? It's made a few years ago. Okay, yeah, that's really nice to have. Okay, one last thing I wanted to ask you before I let you go is, I saw that the listing on Zillow says for sale by owner. Is that because you hate working with realtors? They're going to say no most of the time. Okay. Is it because you're trying to save money? And look, and then I'll be like, okay, and then I'll go on about setting the appointment. Look, before I let you guys go, this is what I told for sale by owners when they talk about money. Okay? They'll be like, what's your commission? What's your commission? Are you going to charge a 3%? Here's what I tell them. Look, man, my job is to help you save money. If it did not make sense for you to pay a realtor fee, I wouldn't fucking make you do it. But if you work with me, you're going to save more money working with a trusted professional than you are selling it on your own. I wouldn't be working with you if that wasn't the case. Now, one other thing. You probably agree with me. It's important for a real estate agent to negotiate on your behalf to help you save money in your sale. Fair enough? Okay, so if I can't prove to you my worth, what makes you think that I can prove the worth to your property on its price? If I can't negotiate my commission, how am I going to negotiate your house? Exactly. And with for sale by owners, man, it's just like going to court without a lawyer. You're not going to fucking do that. You're not going to diagnose yourself in health and not go to the doctor. So why the hell is it different for a real estate profession? It's not. It's the exact same aspect of somebody's life. When you are in real estate, you are the equivalent to a counselor, a physical therapist, a lawyer, a doctor. A real estate agent is right up there. The only difference between us and them is that we don't go to college for 8 years. We need to look at our job as not a sales job. It's not a sales business. It's a consultation advising business with sales. With the way I'm talking, the way I'm cooking, I just feel so excited for the future because I actually feel for once in my business that I'm locked in. I'm posting stuff on social media. I'm making these entrepreneurial journey videos so much more consistently, and it's so exciting. I cannot wait. The plan tomorrow is I need to follow up with some leads, follow up with some people in my sphere of influence, and in reference for a future video, the listing in Fortville is not looking too good. So, but that will be in the next episode of Entrepreneurial Journey. Whatever. That'll do it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys all next video. Let's go and let's get it. We're going to have a great February. Let's get a pending this year. Let's do it.